Hello and thank you for coming to try a trial class of PhysioPlanet. So let's come and get started. So we'll start with our feet together. We'll take our heels apart and our toes apart. We'll just come and sway forward and back. So just feeling the weight transferring through your foot. Keep your whole foot flat on the floor and just feel the weight going from toe to heel and back again. Come and stop in the middle. Soften the knees. And come and tilt forward and back through the pelvis. So make sure it's pelvic movement that we're getting here and everything else up here stays nice and steady and still. Imagine your pelvis is a bowl of water and we're tilting forward to empty that water out and then tilting back to fill that bowl back up. So feel what it's like to be in the two end ranges of movement and come and stop in the middle where the bowl should be nice and flat and level, and the water, if there was water in your pelvis, it would stay nice and level and it wouldn't spill out. So use your deep abdominal muscles to keep your pelvis in that nice neutral position. And we go in the introductory video, we go through how to activate these muscles. Think about the rib cage, so place your hands on your lower ribs and slide them down to your pelvis, widen through the collarbones, tuck the chin gently in, so we're not looking down, just tucking in, so that we have nice length through the back of the neck. Imagine a thread pulling you up from the crown of your head all the way up to the ceiling, and it's just supporting you in that nice neutral posture. This is your neutral posture, which is different from someone else's neutral posture. Place your hands on your hips and we'll just come up into some heel raises, so floating up and down. So just warming up through the ankles and the calves here. And as you float up, I want you to imagine that you're just pushing your weight through the ball of your foot under your big toe. Use your deep abdominal muscles, your deep core muscles to keep you nice and balanced. And we'll come and take the feet now a little bit wider. Turn the toes out slightly, so they're just pointing out around 45 degrees. Keep that tailbone tucked under and imagine sliding down an imaginary wall and pushing back up through your heels. Now as you slide down, I want you to look at your knees and I want you to make sure your knees are tracking in line with your second toe. So your second toe is the toe that's next to your big toe. So I don't want you to think about your knees coming in the way. I want you to imagine them staying in that line with your second toe. So see what that feels like and then look up and just get the feel for your knees being in that position. So bending the knees, and as we push up through the heels, I want you to engage that pelvic floor and then relax as we squat down. Engage the pelvic floor to push up and relax to squat down. So when you sign up for Pilates and you see the introduction video, we'll go through all the different ways to activate your pelvic floor. This time I want you to come down and hold, and we're going to come into these heel raises again. So right heel and lower, left heel and lower. Push up through your heels. Bend the knees, lift the right heel, lower, left heel, lower, push up. Keep the knees in line with that second toe. And keep that tailbone tucked under, keep the ribs soft and keep wide through the front of the chest. Feel these thighs starting to work now. And this time, let's raise both heels, lower, push up. Bend the knees, raise both heels, lower the heels, push up. Let's do two more. And on this last one, let's bend the knees, raise the heels and hold it. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Lower the heels and just come into some pulses. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and push up through the heels. Well done. Walk these feet back in. Give the legs a little shake. Float your arms up to shoulder height. Keep your shoulders down away from your ears. Don't let them hunch up. Keep these hip bones. Imagine there's two car headlights on these hip bones on the front of your pelvis. Keep them shining straight forward. Take a breath in. Breathe out to rotate. Follow your hand with your head. Breathe in to hold. Breathe out to return. Take a breath in. Breathe out to rotate. Breathe in to hold. And out to return. So keeping these hip bones pointing forward just isolates this movement into the thoracic spine, which is a part of your spine that often gets stiff and sore, especially if you sit for a long time. When you work at a desk, we tend to be in this posture, so we want to mobilise our spine so that it's not getting stiff and sore in that posture. So movement is the key to a healthy body. So if you do sit at a desk all day, then please move regularly so you don't get sore. Your body's designed to move. That's what it likes. And that's what keeps your body happy, is movement. This time come into an arm circle. It's just opening up a bit further through the front of the chest and just rotating round through that thoracic spine. So any exercise is good for your body. I like Pilates because it mobilises your body and strengthens the muscles that you need strengthened and retrains muscle patterns, muscle recruitment patterns, so that you're moving in the most optimal way and we don't get compensation from other muscles, so we don't get sore. Last one. And float these arms down. Let's just slide down to the right, back up to centre, slide down to the left and return to centre. So just feeling that nice movement through the sides. One more each side. And come and stop in the centre again. Take your right hand, run it up the side of your body, all the way up to the ceiling. Look up at your hand, tip over to the side, and then come and look down towards your foot. Look up at your hand, return back to centre, float the arm down. Run the opposite arm up the side of your body, all the way up to the ceiling, look up towards your hand, reach down to the side, and then turn to look down at your foot. Keep these hip bones pointing forward. And return to centre. Let's do one more on each side. This is a really nice stretch. So run your hand up the side of your body, look up to your hand, tip to the side, and turn to look your head down to your foot. Look up at your hand, return to centre, float that arm down. Opposite hand, sliding up your body, look up at your hand, tip to the side, and turn to look down. Look up at your hand and return back to centre. Just have a little sway side to side, just letting your body loosen off. So if you do sit at a desk all day and you get up to move, even doing this, just standing up, having a little sway side to side, and then sitting back down. Let's come towards the end of the mat now, and we're going to face up towards your head block, or you can use a little folded up towel, just something that can support your head. So we take a breath in, breathe out, tip your chin forward, and think about peeling down one bone at a time, all the way down the length of your spine, down towards your toes. Breathe in to hold it, and then breathe out, tuck that tailbone under first, and then think about restacking each bone back up one at a time. And the head comes up last. So this exercise mobilises the whole spine. So if you run your hand down the back of your head, you feel a bumpy bit coming out, and then you feel a little dip, and that's where your spine starts to leave your skull. It goes all the way down to your coccyx bone, your tailbone. So I want you to imagine moving each bone one at a time. So nice breath in, breathe out, tip that chin forward, peel down, one bone at a time. If you need to bend your knees to get all the way down, that's absolutely fine, just please bend them. So this is about mobilising your spine, so it doesn't matter what your legs are doing here. And then restack, tuck your tailbone under, restack lower back, mid back, upper back, and the neck last. So nice breath in, breathe out, tip that chin forward, peeling down one bone at a time. Breathe in to hold and breathe out to restack. Let's do one more, nice breath in, breathe out to peel down. Breathe in to hold and breathe out, tuck that tailbone under and restack back up. So we're going to do one more now just to bring us down onto the mat. So nice breath in, breathe out, peel down. And coming down onto the mat this time. So we'll start in our 4-point kneeling position. So our hands are under our shoulders and knees are under hips. So we want to set a nice neutral posture. Again, we'll go through this in the introduction video, but just quickly, slide your shoulders down away from your ears, tuck your chin down so you're looking down between your hands, and come and tilt forward and back through the pelvis. Look for that halfway point, come and stop there. Use your tummy muscles, your deep core muscles to stay in that position. Take a breath in, breathe out, slide that left foot away. Breathe in to hold, breathe out to return. Take a breath in, breathe out, slide that right foot away. Breathe in to hold, breathe out to return. So you want to keep your back nice and steady the whole time. You don't want any movement through the pelvis. So the key is stability. Your back should be relatively flat, so if you were balancing a tray of drinks on your back, then they would stay nice and still, nice and safe. And this time let's slide that left foot away, extend up to hip height, breathe in to hold, breathe out to return. Slide the right foot away, extend up to hip height, breathe in to hold, breathe out to return. Again, stability, don't let the back arch. This time we'll extend opposite arm and foot. So again, keeping nice and steady. Now if you do find you're wobbling or you're really swaying side to side, just stick to a lower level. So this isn't about working through to the highest level you possibly can. This is about getting the right muscles activated at the right time to support your body and stop you being sore. And then let's come back. Take your bottom back onto your heels, slide your hands forward and let your head drop down towards the mat. Take in some nice deep breaths and just enjoy that stretch. And let's come up. We'll come around now onto our back. So have your head blocker towel just under your head, just supporting your head. So we want a nice length through the back of the neck. We want our neck in a nice neutral position. Come and start with your feet together. Take your heels apart and toes apart and come and tilt forward and back through the pelvis. Just feeling the back flatten into the mat and then tilting away. Come and stop in that mid position, hands on the lower ribs, taking a nice breath. Breathe out, sink the ribs down into the mat, slide them down to your pelvis, widen the collarbones and tuck the chin down. So I want you to feel for these two bony bits, one on each side of your pelvis. Pop your hands on them, so we want to keep the pelvis steady again. Take a breath in, breathe out, float that left knee out, breathe in to hold, breathe out to return. Breathe in, breathe out, float the right knee out, breathe in to hold, and breathe out to return. So the only thing that should be moving is that knee that's floating out to the side. Everything else should stay nice and steady and still. So if someone was looking at you from the waist up, they wouldn't think you were moving at all. So I always say to people, this exercise looks like you're doing absolutely nothing. But it is working your tummy muscles, it's working your deep core muscles, and it's working the muscles that are your internal corset. So your trans abs, so your transversus abdominis muscle, is your body's own natural corset. So if we look at that's your deepest core muscle, and when we start to tone that up and get that activated, you do have a naturally slimmer tummy and waist. And then you can work through your layers of core muscle if you want more definition through your abdominals. So your trans abs are really important because they are the ones that are closest to your spine. So they start in your tummy, so they're not just about toning, they wrap around your spine and support your spine. So we do work them. We work that muscle quite often in Pilates. So it's got the added bonus of toning up as it stops you being so sore. So if you're doing this exercise correctly and you're not letting your pelvis move and you're really paying attention, really focus your mind in, then you will work these abdominal muscles. So you should be on a level 2 contraction of these trans ab muscles. Again, in the introduction video we explain how to get that contraction. Staying in this position, I'm going to come into another exercise now. So we're still in a neutral posture. So if you're not sure, just head back to the intro video and we'll run over again how to set up into neutral. So take a breath in, breathe out, slide your left heel away along the mat, breathe in to hold, breathe out to return. Take a breath in, breathe out, slide that right heel away, breathe in to hold, breathe out to return. So again, we're working the stability of the pelvis. So we want that pelvis to stay nice and steady. So allow your hands to rest on the front of your pelvis so you get a little bit more feedback. So when we first start doing Pilates, it's really difficult because we tend not to know what our bodies are doing. So we need to really tune into what the movement feels like so we know what our body's doing. And that's the key to efficient movement. Knowing what your body's doing, how to correct it, and then you don't get sore because you activate the correct muscles and you get functional movement patterns that your body needs to keep healthy. Now as we extend that leg fully away, we need to be very careful that we're not arching our back. That's a very common mistake. So we want to make sure we're in that nice neutral posture the whole time. So you should have a little gap between your lower back and the mat, and your ribs should be flush against the mat. Now let's come up into what we call single tabletop. So float that right leg up. So you've a 90-degree angle at your hip and knee. Your foot is hidden behind your knee. We'll come into our hip twist exercise again. So nice breath in, breathe out, float that right knee out. Breathe in to hold and breathe out to return. So in this version of the exercise, we're just asking our muscles to work a little harder. So you should probably have less range of movement because our muscles are having to work harder to control this move. So you can see the pelvis stays nice and steady. If my pelvis wasn't staying steady, it would probably start to tilt like that, and that's what we don't want. So that's a common mistake. So just make sure that your pelvis is nice and steady. Float that right leg down. Float the left leg up. Activate these deep core muscles. Float the leg out to the side, back to centre. Exhale, float out. Inhale, hold. Exhale, return. So just making sure we keep that nice level 2 contraction. Let's do 2 more. Make sure that foot stays hidden behind the knee. Make sure the ribs stay nice and soft. Shoulders relaxed down. And float that leg down. This time we're going to link our fingers together and place our hands behind our head. Float the elbows up so you can just see them from the corner of your eye and no more. Sink the ribs down so the ribs lead the movement on this exercise. Tuck the chin down so the back of the neck is nice and long. So we take a breath in, breathe out, slide the rib cage down towards the pelvis as we allow the head and shoulders to rise off the mat. Breathe in to hold and breathe out to float back down. So inhale, prepare, exhale, slide down. In breath, exhale to return. So our head does not lead the movement on this exercise. Our rib cage leads the movement and our head and shoulders follow the ribs. Shoulders stay sliding down away from knees at all times. Good, and coming back down. Take your head block out now and just put it down beside you. I'm going to come into your shoulder bridge. So feet are hip distance apart. Flatten the back down into the mat. Peel up one bone at a time. So your tailbone, as it starts to leave the mat, think about each bone following one at a time until you come to rest on the tip of your shoulder blades. Breathe in to hold and breathe out to peel back down from your breastbone first, peeling down one bone at a time. Take a breath in, breathe out, flatten the back in, peeling up. As soon as your tailbone starts to leave the mat, I want you to think about engaging these glute muscles together, so drawing your sit bones in towards one another so that we feel this exercise working in our glute muscles. So this exercise is for your glutes. So if you feel anything in your back, please make sure you're engaging these glutes so that your glute muscles are doing their job. So quite often in our everyday life we get sore backs because our glute muscles just aren't kicking in at the right time, or they get tired because they've been overworking. So we want to make sure they're all working at the right time when we need them. This time, as we come up to a shoulder bridge, we'll hold it there, making sure the ribs are staying nice and soft. And remember the heel raise we did in our warm-up. We're going to raise the left heel and lower, raise the right heel and lower, and peel back down one bone at a time. So take a breath in, breathe out, peeling up one bone at a time, raise the left heel and lower, right heel and lower. Now the pelvis stays steady the whole time as we raise the heel. Just focus on getting that segmental movement. So this is really good for highlighting any stiff areas through the spine, and you'll feel that it just tends not to move segmentally, it tends to move as a block. But our spines aren't designed to move like that. Each bone is designed to move individually. And coming to the last one like that, so raising the heel lower, raise the heel lower, peel back down, link your fingers together and place your hands behind your head, float your elbows up, let your ribs slide down as you breathe out, breathe in to hold, breathe out to float down, and keep your hands there, soften these ribs, really focus on it, and then peel up one bone at a time, up into your shoulder bridge, breathe in to hold, breathing out, lift the right heel, lift the left heel, and then peel back down one bone at a time. Then think about the ribs sliding down. Feel each bone peeling up one at a time. Breathe in to hold, Breathe out, think about your ribs coming back down to the mat and your upper back and your head coming down last. Peel up from your shoulder bridge, tailbone first, peeling up from the lower back, one bone at a time. Right heel, left heel, peel down from the breastbone first. Slide the ribs down, feel the ribs, start to slide down, feel each bone peel away from the mat one at a time and float back down. Coming up into shoulder bridge again, ribs stay soft the whole time. Raise the right heel and lower, raise the left heel and lower and peel down one bone at a time. Slide these ribs down. Exhale to lower and one more. Peeling up one bone at a time. Right heel, left heel, peeling back down and sliding these ribs down. And then just stretch out nice and long. Enjoy that nice stretch through the centre. Take some nice deep breaths. And then just come and hug the knees up towards you and have just a little roll side to side. And just bringing one foot at a time back down onto the mat. We're going to come and lie on our side now. So bring your head block or your rolled up towel. Stretch your lower arm nice and long. Place your head block in. Bend the knees to a roughly 45-degree angle. Float the heels off and make sure they're lined up with your bottom. Float the heels back down. Feel for this top hip bone. You want to roll it forward so it's directly above the one on the other side of your pelvis. Slide that top hip away so you get a little gap between your lower waist and the mat. Keep your heels together. Take a breath in, breathe out, float that top knee up. Breathe in to hold, breathe out to float down. Exhale, float up, inhale, hold, exhale, float down. So make sure that top hip stays rolled forward. Then we can isolate these glute muscles on the side of the hip this time. So shoulder bridge work the glute muscles on the back of the hip. So now we want to work these ones. And these ones are really important for your pelvic stability. Let's do two more. And then extend that leg so the top leg is straight. Take a breath in, breathe out, float that top leg up just to hip height. Breathe in to hold, breathe out to float down. We want to keep this gap between the lower waist and the mat the whole time. We want to keep that top hip rolled forward. So if we start to lift the leg too high above hip height, the waist drops down into the mat, and we don't want that. We want the waist nice and long. Feel that muscle working. Keep the hips rolled forward. And then hold that leg up at hip height. Place your hands on the mat in front of your hips. Bend that top knee up and extend away. Push with the heel. Keep the hip rolled forward. Keep that little gap. Push with that heel. Drive the heel away. Two more. Well done. Drop that top leg forward and just rub in through that muscle there on the side of your hip. Now we'll come and take the head block or your towel just down on the mat and your arms are rolled out in front. Keep this top leg dropped forward and just slide it forward slightly, almost like you're lying in your bed, although we're not going to go to sleep. So hands are just placed on top of one another. Keep a nice space between your shoulder and ear. Take a breath in, breathe out, rotate this top hand round, following with your head. Breathe in to hold, breathe out to return. So this top leg is nice and heavy. It's almost like an anchor pulling you down, weighing you down at the front. And that just helps to isolate the movement through this thoracic spine. Let's do 2 more. And come back round. And now we're going to come and work the other side. So push up to sit. Take your head block to the opposite end of the mat. Come and lie on your opposite side. Stretch that lower arm nice and long. Place your head block in between your arm and your head. Knees roughly 45-degree angle. Float your heels up and just check they're in the same line as your bottom and float them back down. Feel this top hip bone. Roll it forward so it's right above the one on the other side. Glide away so you get that little gap between your lower waist and the mat. Just let your hand rest just in front of your hips and keep your ears sliding down, your shoulders sliding down away from your ear. Take a breath in, breathe out. Heels together, float that top knee up, keep the hip rolled forward, breathe in to hold and breathe out to float down. Exhale, float up, inhale, hold, exhale, float down. Exhale, inhale, exhale. So it's really important to keep that little gap, to keep the pelvis in its nice neutral position. So again, we're using our deep tummy muscles, so activating a level 2 contraction. So imagine if you had a wee chocolate and you put it under your waist, it would be nice and stay safe, it wouldn't get crushed at all, so you could eat it after the class. A nice wee Ferrero Rocher. And then extend that top leg nice and long, keep the hip rolled forward, we're just floating up to hip height and back down to touch the mat. Exhale, float up, inhale, hold, exhale, float down. Exhale, float up, inhale, hold, exhale, float down. And then stopping at hip height, hand on the mat in front. Pull that knee up towards your chest and extend away, drive away through the heel. Keep that hip rolled forward. Keep the gap between your waist and the mat. Really push through that heel. Really push for your last 2. And last one. Well done. Drop that top leg forward. Just have a little rub of that muscle. We'll stretch your hands straight out in front now. Keep this leg forward, that top leg. Take a breath in, breathe out, rotate that arm round, follow with your head. Breathe in to hold and breathe out to return. Inhale, prepare, exhale, rotate round. Inhale, hold, exhale, return. And just do another few. This is a nice one. People generally don't mind doing this exercise. Last one. Great, well done. Let's come around onto our back and we'll just have a little stretch of these glute muscles that we've just worked. So cross your right ankle over your left knee. Take your right hand on the inside of your right knee and just give it a little push away. Just feeling that nice gentle stretch. Now you can hold it there, or if you do feel you want to stretch a little more, take your hands under your left thigh and pull these legs up towards you. You should just feel that stretching in these glute muscles and the side of your hip here. Come and float that left foot down and the right. Cross the left ankle over the right knee. Left hand on the inside of your left knee and just gently push away. Breathe in normally as you hold your stretch. And then if you do want to stretch further, hands under your right thigh and pull your legs up towards you. So stretches should always be nice and gentle, always breathe normally. So never push into pain with a stretch. You just want to feel a gentle stretch, not a pain. And sometimes it can be quite hard. If you've been in pain for a long time, your body then gets confused between what's a normal stretch and what's sore. So Pilates is really good for just helping you to tune into your body and the messages your body's sending you and what it means. Bring that right foot down and the left foot down, coming around, coming all the way round into your 4-point kneeling again. Tuck the toes under, and we want to stretch your legs up and then restack each bone back up one at a time to come up to stand. Take the feet a little wider, taking a nice deep breath and big breath out. Big breath in and big breath out. And one more, big breath in and out. Just walk the feet together, have a little sway side to side and come to relax back in the centre. Well done. I hope you enjoyed that taster class and I hope to see you again logging in to Pilates PhysioPlanet for a weekly exercise class.